You do know the answer to that.
Don't call me a liar.
I didn't call you a liar.
You just said I know the answer. I said I don't know the answer.
Well,
you have to talk to Director Patel.
There's a tape, right, with Mr. Homan? I mean, first of all, is there a tape that has audio and video of the transfer of the $50,000?
You would have to talk to Director Patel about that.
No, I'm talking to you.
I don't know the answer, Senator.
Yeah, you do know the answer to that.
Don't call me a liar.
I didn't call you a liar.
You just said I know the answer. I said I don't know the answer.
Well,
you have to talk to Director Patel. What I said is that investigation was closed.
If you don't know, why don't you know whether there was a tape and video?
Senator, I believe that was resolved prior to my confirmation as Attorney General.
Do you think that it is of public interest for the people to know what happened to the $50,000 that the FBI turned over to Homan?
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, I heard what you said, but also like Welch, well, he didn't even say it. I'll say it. You're a liar. What do you mean it was resolved before you were sworn in? They closed it down not that long ago. And by the way, let's say that that's true, or even if it's not true, then okay, it's closed. I like Welch's second question even more than the first. Why are you so disinterested in whether a top aide to the president, someone tasked with dealing with border security and all that, might have taken a bribe of $50,000? You're saying you don't know. Would you like to know? I'd like to know. Here's a different hypothetical. If Biden were still president and Secretary Buttigieg was alleged to have taken a bribe for $50,000, would you be interested in knowing then? If it was anyone else in the Biden administration, the Obama administration, I feel like you'd probably care. So you can plead like, I don't know, but that is damning in its own right. I would say it's even more damning. A cover-up is bad, and I know because you're doing that with Epstein. In this case, though, your utter disinterest about what appears to be rampant corruption in the Trump administration is its own form of damning. And anyway, she's not gonna answer any of these questions seriously. We already know that. There's some good attempts. Adam Schiff tried to get her to actually go on the record of whether she knows some of this stuff. Take a look.
You don't have to defer to the FBI director to pass the buck. So I'm asking you, will you support a request so that the committee, or indeed I believe the American people, should be able to see that video or audio tape? Will you support that request?
Will you apologize to Donald Trump for trying to impeach
the answer is you won't support that request.
After you now know that Joe Biden tried to cover up Hunter Biden's involvement with Ukraine.
You know, I know that that's the sort of shrill, screechy thing that someone would say on like the 5 or Outnumbered or whatever, but like you were asked a specific question and then all of a sudden you're talking about Hunter Biden. And you see what happened there. When she was asked statements of fact, like questions of fact about the case, she would say, you have to ask Kash Patel. I don't want to answer it, ask him. Now he's not going to answer it either, and she well knows that. So she can just keep passing the buck. So then he turns it to, will you sign on to a request for that information? Then she can't pass the buck to Kash Patel for that. And then instantly, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I want to talk about Hunter Biden or whatever. No, but like this isn't Twitter or whatever. This isn't when they have like one person, it's like 30 people and they're all just yelling at each other or whatever. We're not trying to like score social media points. Do you care? And she is making clear she doesn't care. Now, I can't say for sure that Tom Homan took a bribe for $50,000. I mean, I'm pretty sure he did, but I can't say for sure that he did. But what I can say for sure is she does not care if he did. And again, when like this whole movement, the whole MAGA thing is supposed to be anti-elite. We're populist, we're for regular people. We're questioning of those in power. We don't like those with all this money. No, you aren't actually. That's who you brought into power. You got Pam Bondi, who is only there to do the bidding of Donald Trump. And the bidding of Donald Trump does not involve weeding out corruption. It involves silencing any investigations into it. And by the way, I'm glad that they asked about Homan. I honestly think that that's small potatoes. Remember, Donald Trump did that whole tricky-pizzicky thing with the AI graphics cards and chips and the World Liberty Financial crypto investment. That is infinitely more corrupt than anything that happened with Tom Homan. And so hopefully we'll have investigations into all of this. But she has been very clear that she does not care about the corruption, whether the small or the large.